Okay, thanks everyone. Good morning, first of all, and welcome to this morning's webinar looking at unlocking potential with graduate apprenticeships. Really appreciate you joining us this morning. My name's David Aaron and I am the marketing manager for the graduate apprenticeships team here at Heriot-Watt. Got some great content for you this morning. So first up, we're going to have Claire B from DYW, Edinburgh, Midlothian and East Lothian. Claire's going to cover off the Young Person's Guarantee. Following that, we've got our very own Jen Henderson, who's our Head of Talent Partnerships. Jen's going to look at exactly how graduate apprenticeships can help unlock potential for employers and individuals. And this morning, we're also delighted to be joined by colleagues from one of our key employer partners, Leonardo. Mark Sheeran, who is a Senior Early Careers Business Partner, will give some background to Leonardo and apprenticeship opportunities at the company. And we're also delighted to be joined by two of Leonardo's graduate apprentices, Jake and Arena. Jake and Arena are going to share their graduate apprentice experience so far. So it's always great to hear directly from the apprentices about how they're getting on and what kind of impact their apprenticeship is making. After that, we will have the opportunity for you guys to ask some questions through a Q&A. Now, please feel free to either use the chat function, or if you would like to do so, please raise your hand on the call and you can ask your question out loud. Just some final bits of housekeeping from me and we'll get started. Really appreciate it if you just keep your mics on mute during the presentation. And as you see, the session is being recorded. So without any further ado, I am going to hand over to Claire.
Thanks, David. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you on International Women's Day, I should say, and also Apprenticeship Week. So I'm here today to talk to you about the Young Person's Guarantee. Hopefully some people on the call will have heard about it. And what I really wanted to tell you about first is our developing the young workforce. So I know Leonardo worked very closely with us. One of our board members is with Leonardo, so definitely got a good relationship there. If you could just pop onto the first slide, David, that would be fantastic. Thank you. So hopefully you've heard of developing the young workforce. We are employer-led and we're really here to help connect employers with young people in schools and colleges. Our team works across Edinburgh, Midlothian and East Lothian. However, if you want to work a bit further afield, let us know and we can put you in touch with the DYW contacts there. We really want to provide inspirational opportunities for young people. We want them to understand what the world of work is all about and what they need to succeed. So we don't want people thinking, I want to be an engineer, and then they go off and go, do you know what, I hate this isn't what I want to do, or I want to work in the creative industries, and they don't realise that they might be freelance and it's harder to make a wage yourself, and they maybe have to do 2 or 3 jobs until they get the background and the clients that they need. So it's about trying to inform young people so they can make the right choice for them. We play a key part in the delivery of the Young Person's Guarantee. So please do get involved and try and influence education and shape the workforce that Scotland really needs going forward. And moving on to talk about the ambition of the Young Person's Guarantee. The Young Person's Guarantee was set up to really help young people between the age of 16 and 24 in Scotland to gain a positive destination, whether it be college, university, an apprenticeship programme like we're going to talk about today, training, fair work experience, or doing some formal voluntary programme. And I'm going to play a little clip just to bring it to life a little bit. Hopefully it'll work.
When you're deciding on where you want to go in your future, having lots of opportunities available helps a lot. The Young Person's Guarantee connects every 16 to 24-year-old in Scotland to a wide range of jobs, courses, apprenticeships and volunteering programmes. It can also link you to the support you may need on your journey to find the future that's right for you. Find your future at youngpersonsguarantee.scot.
So hopefully that clip has brought it to life a little,
on where you want to
just to let you see that we really want people to know about all the opportunities, not just the ones they've heard of. We want to open up the world of work for our young people. And if you do want to be part of the Young Person's Guarantee, we have 5 asks. We don't expect employers to do all 5. I'll quickly run through them, and then if anybody's interested, you can get in touch with us after the call or pop something in the chat. So it might be that you're already doing some of these things, and if you are, it's just about us supporting you to fill in the form, or it might be that you want to do more and my team would help you to find out what you could be doing to actually take part in the Young Person's Guarantee. So the first one is really to prepare young people for the world of work, which is looking at things like work experience and mentoring. The next one is to help young people achieve their full potential. So it's about giving them the support to apply for what they want to do, applications, mock interviews, practice sessions. Really, today is about investing in a skilled workforce. So looking at what we can be doing to help young people to maybe gain an apprenticeship or a qualification while they're working. The fourth one is to create jobs, volunteering and training opportunities. And I suppose that one's like what it says on the tin, but if you can offer a graduate apprenticeship or a modern apprenticeship, that would be amazing. And the last one is really to create an inclusive and fair workplace, which I'm hoping all employers want to do because they realise the value of diversity and having people that work and think in a different way. So moving on to our next slide, David. If you do want to sign up to the Young Person's Guarantee, which I hope you will, we've got a simple pro forma that we'd ask you to fill in. It covers a 12-month period and it's reviewed annually. We ask you to consider what you're currently delivering in terms of the 5 asks and what you could be doing in the future. And my team would sit with you and go through the form and help support you with what you want to do so that you can reach as many young people as possible and hopefully help get yourself a great talent pipeline, get your brand known with young people and support young people to find the jobs and study that they want to do going forward. So if you do want to message me, that's my email address there and I'll pop it in the chat box so everybody's got it to hand. And the good news is if you do sign up to the Young Person's Guarantee, not only will you be helping to shape Scotland's workforce and get known to young people, you will be given a branding pack by Scottish Government, which gives you all these lovely logos that you can put on all your websites, emails, wherever you want them to be, printed stuff. And then young people would see those logos and think, oh, I want to look at this employer. They support young people. So it gets you known out in the world with young people and their parents and influencers and family and friends. And that's really all from me. So I'm going to pass over to Jen. Thank you very much for listening. Please do get in touch if you'd like to know more about supporting the developing young workforce and the Young Person's Guarantee. Thank you.
Thanks, Claire. That was a really good whistle stop tour of the Young Person's Guarantee and the ways that employers can make a difference. Good morning, everybody. I know that a few have joined us since we started. Great to see you, and thanks for taking the time to join us this morning. I'm going to talk to you a bit about graduate apprenticeships, and particularly the graduate apprenticeships that we offer at Heriot-Watt. So, David, if we could move on to the next slide. I'm going to start off by giving you a bit of background to Heriot-Watt. It's a name that lots of people recognise the university, but I think it's important to understand the history that we have of working with industry. So since Heriot-Watt was founded just over 200 years ago, the university has really been pushing the boundaries of education, developing new ways to build skills, share knowledge, supporting traditional and non-traditional students, and kind of push the boundaries of research as well. Approximately 50% of students at Heriot-Watt are non-traditional learners. That's a stat that's quite staggering because everybody thinks of university as undergraduate programs in a traditional way, but approximately 50% of ours are non-traditional at the moment. And that's a combination of flexible education provisions and work-based learning opportunities. There's a few stats here that show the breadth and quality of Heriot-Watt and the education from there. The really key one to point out to you is that 47% of our graduate apprentices of the first cohort who graduated achieved a first class degree, which is it's phenomenal considering that graduate apprenticeships are full-time work-based learning degrees. It's a really, really impressive stat. We do produce more CEOs than any other institute in Scotland, and we're working with over 350 companies at the moment. If we can move on to the next one, please, David. So what is a graduate apprenticeship? Well, as well as being a way that you can support the Young Person's Guarantee, graduate apprenticeships are a fantastic way to build your talent pipeline, attract new talent into your business, retain the talent that you have, because we know that retention is a bigger challenge than it was previously, and to as Claire said, to become an employer of choice, as well as to support Young Person's Guarantee. So what is a graduate apprenticeship? It's really important to understand that it's not an apprenticeship for graduates. It's an apprenticeship that creates graduates. It's a work-based learning degree that let people achieve a degree level qualification, can go up to masters through their work, and in partnership with university for the university education. It's fully funded, providing you meet the eligibility criteria. It's fully funded, so there's no cost to the employer for offering graduate apprenticeships. There's no cost to the candidate as long as they're eligible for funding. It's fully funded, so you can get an upskilled workforce or bring new talent in and get them up to degree level qualification. It's part of the apprenticeship family, so you may already offer foundation apprenticeships, modern apprenticeships, and be considering graduate apprenticeships and how could they be a progression route. It's part of the whole family of apprenticeships and work-based learning qualifications. So it's not, people sometimes think, oh, you've got a job and you're doing a part-time degree alongside it. That's not what a graduate apprenticeship is. It fundamentally is about integrating work-based learning and activities with the learning outcomes of the degree studies. So it's part of the same thing. They're not separate. The university studies and the job are not separate. You'll hear more about how that plays out in practice when we hear from our GAs in a few moments. Graduate apprentices and graduate apprenticeships can be for new employees or they can be for existing employees. Depends on your business needs. We can work with you to identify that. Might be that you have people in your business that need to get a degree so that they can go on to get chartered or recognised status. A graduate apprenticeship is a way to do that. They're already in a job that meets the learning outcomes. There are some key people in the success of a graduate apprenticeship. Number one is the graduate apprentice themselves. The mentor, the workplace mentor, is a really key person, and I'll say a bit more about that in a second, and we'll hear a bit more from our colleagues at Leonardo about the workplace mentors and the role that they have, and the personal tutor on the academic side. So they will support with the academic learning, the workplace mentor will support with the work-based learning elements of a graduate apprenticeship. Can we move on to the next slide, please, David? So how do GAs work? Lots of people ask this question, so we've broken it down into some really kind of simple stats to understand it. And also to clarify the terminology. So 1 day per week is attendance. Now that might be remote attendance, it might be on-campus attendance, it might be a combination of both. The delivery model is different for each of the programs that we offer. It depends on the certain circumstances for those graduate apprenticeship programs, but it's 1 day per week where you have your lectures, your tutorials and your seminars from university. Plus we recommend an additional 4 hours per week additional study time for the graduate apprentices. That's the kind of typical studying that they do. That might be consolidating their evidence. It might be looking at how they can put what they've learned into practice, how they can apply it. There's lots of ways that can be made up. So that can be arranged flexibly between the employer, the line manager, and the GA. There's 2 nominated individuals who provide support. I mentioned them on the previous slide. One is the workplace mentor. So they really support the graduate apprentice from the workplace to look at, well, you know, if they were perhaps studying something and they needed to put it into practice and that wasn't in the work plan, influence when that can happen or how that can be delivered. If there's any issues that come up in the workplace, it would be the workplace mentor or the line manager, the graduate apprentice that they would go to. So the workplace mentors are really, really key. And it's a fantastic CPD opportunity for workplace mentors to take on responsibility of mentoring graduate apprentices in their business. The personal tutor is on the academic side. They support with the studies and the assessments, and they'll meet regularly with the GAs as well. There are meetings between the three parties. That triangular partnership is really key. The strength of that is a key ingredient in the success of the GAs, and we can support the mentors in the workplace if this is new for your business, if you don't have mentoring in your business at the moment. 3 semesters. A lot of people kind of misperceive that a graduate apprentice will attend as an undergrad student does for university, but it's actually 3 semesters. So there is work and studying undertaken through the summer period. That'll be looking at the work-based learning. It might be if somebody has a resit or something that they have to do, then that'll be through the summer period. There are breaks at Christmas, Easter and summer. And it's a 4-year programme of study. It takes you to an honours degree level over the 4 years. Depending on your entrance route, and I'll come on to that in a second, you might get accelerated entry, but if you were starting from scratch in year 1, it would be a 4-year programme of study to honours level. And this slide just really kind of breaks down the balance between work-based learning and academic learning. So the majority of the graduate apprenticeship is work-based learning. That's practical and theoretical exercises. You agree exactly what the content of that is with the employer in relation to your studies. There's outcomes that are detailed and have to be met. There's feedback comes on the submissions from the graduate apprentices and I've forgotten the word, the assessments that they have to complete on the work-based learning, and there's tutorial exercises that have solutions to help guide the learning. So that's all of the work-based learning components of that. The academic learning, which I mentioned earlier, that's the traditional university courses. There is some assessment by exams or tests, and they're delivered on the day that they attend the university. Not necessarily attend in person. I don't want anybody to think that it's all on campus. Some is remote access. So it's a combination. It's 20% academic learning and 80% work-based learning. So you're able to take what you've learned academically and put it into practice in the workplace really quickly and effectively. This is a breakdown of the programmes that we offer at Heriot-Watt. We have 9 graduate apprenticeship frameworks. These are all hyperlinked. I won't go into the detail of all the frameworks and programmes at the moment because it would take far too long, but we can provide you with more details on any of those that you think might be a good fit for your business. And we will give you the links to all of them when we share the slides and the information after this session. But you can see that there's a wide range from Heriot-Watt's kind of STEM background and credibility. We've got a range of digital programmes and also our business management through our Edinburgh Business School. You'll notice that they are MAs. That is still an honours degree programme. The others are bachelors, but they're MAs for the ABS programmes. They're still the same level. They're still an undergraduate honours degree. So who are graduate apprenticeships for? Well, the fundamental criteria are that you have to be living and working in Scotland, living in Scotland for work and working in Scotland, over 16, but obviously you have to meet the entry qualifications for the academic programmes. That's usually assessed by hires, HNCs, HNDs, so you would ordinarily be over 16 before you'd be able to, unless you'd done your exams really early, you'd be over 16 by the time you could meet those. And all the opportunities that we have, businesses will advertise those on their own early career sites, and we also encourage them to advertise their opportunities on apprenticeships.scot. And we encourage any candidates who come and talk to us and ask us about where are there opportunities for GAs. I don't want to do an undergraduate course of study, but I want to get a degree. We'll encourage them to go and look at apprenticeships.scot to see what opportunities are out there. So they can be, as I've already said, they can be for new early careers and bringing new talent into your business, but they can also be a way to upskill. It just depends on the candidates meeting the eligibility criteria. And I've mentioned that there's different pathways into a graduate apprenticeship. I think it's really important to understand what these can be. So we can have graduate apprentices who join from school. They leave school, they don't want to go to university for whatever reason. but they still want to get a degree, they go into a job, and that's got a graduate apprenticeship as part of it. So they can come straight from school and join the early careers pathways in the businesses. They might have gone to college and done an HNC or an HND and realised that they have a talent and they want to pursue this pathway, and a graduate apprenticeship could be a progression route for them. They then go on and get a job that has a graduate apprenticeship as part of it, and they would ordinarily, depending on the outcomes of their HNCs and their HNDs, we'd be able to consider advanced entry. So they might be able to go into year 2, and then it would be 3 years studying to achieve their degree. Can come from a foundation apprenticeship or a modern apprenticeship. That again would come back to the qualifications that they've achieved through those programmes. Or sometimes we have candidates who swap from a full-time undergraduate. They've maybe done a couple of years of undergraduate studies and think, don't want to do full-time education, or I can't for whatever reason, but they can still complete their degree and switch. And if the programme's relevant, then they would get accelerated entry to a graduate apprenticeship. That's a really good option for employers sometimes when they have a candidate who's ready to kind of take that step over to becoming a graduate apprentice. And they're also, for